So Bond 25 has hit a snag. So, okay, let's go back to the beginning of this mess. Older fans will remember a time when they could count on seeing a new Bond movie every 2 or 3 years. There were problems that caused interruptions, sure, but seeing a 007 adventure was a pretty regular thing. It was something you could always count on. Fast forward to a new era of Bond with blonde Daniel Craig as our secret agent. He starts up. 2 movies, then bam, there's a problem. Okay, we got that sorted out now, so we're back after a 4-year wait. Things are moving along with a follow-up 3 years later, and then bam, again. It looked like another 4-year wait for Bond 25. Rumors started to drag out that Craig might take a walk, but fans were finally reassured he would indeed come back. Alright, now things look like we're starting to move again. Eon and MGM had a new partnership with Universal Pictures for distribution, so that nonsense is sorted out. Danny Boyle was confirmed as the director. Alrighty. He co-wrote a screenplay with John Hodge. Filming is set to begin on December 3rd, 2018, for a release date in November 2019. Still a long wait, but okay, we're progressing. Now the news is Boyle just left Bond 25 over creative differences, and Hodge has quit. So Bond 25 now has no director, no screenwriter, but we still have the release date of November 2019 to look forward to. Here's the official tweet. Some folks are focused on the fact that Craig is named in it, alongside Babs and Mike, but I'm really not surprised by that. I mean, he's got more power alongside the producers than any past Bond actor had. The part I zero in on in this is Danny Boyle has decided to no longer direct Bond 25. That part, he decided, kind of gives me the impression that he would have liked to have directed this, was ready to, but was unhappy with what they were asking him to do and the restrictions that were being placed on him. So he decided to leave. Like he wouldn't play ball with what we wanted from him, and he's being a nudge. Blame him, fans, for fouling all this up. It's not our fault. We wanted him, but he decided this course of action. For some reason, I just get the feeling it was Eon who were being pains about whatever, and he decided, I don't need this. Well, it might have been a PR thing, too, the wording of that. Eon might have told him to take a hike, and they didn't want to diss him in public, so they said, well, we'll say that you decided to leave, okay? Maintain a nice relationship with him. I mean, maybe one day we'll get the details of exactly what went down, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was the strictness that Eon was placing on him that made him bolt. I mean, which I always think is kind of crazy. If they hire an auteur director, then they got to be willing to let them do their thing. I mean, it's probably difficult on both sides to come to an agreement of how to make a Bond movie. Like, Eon wants to stay on their path of the Bond blueprint and have a clear idea of what works, and a new director probably wants to shake things up and try something fresh with it. So it's probably tough to reach a middle ground. Now, Bond 25 has a big problem. It doesn't have a director, and shooting is scheduled to start in December. So now it's a scramble to find somebody to fill that slot. There's not a lot of time to find someone on such short notice now. It'd be nice to have a little bit of time before finding out that you're going to direct a Bond movie. I imagine they could keep some of the Hodge script and whatever Boyle contributed to it. I mean, they could bring in Purvis and Wade to go over it, but a new director will probably want to do a pass on it and rewrite some of it to their satisfaction. This is starting to look like another Quantum production melee. What's going to be great is the press conference for Bond 25. I can't wait to see that. We know when, the producers, director, the stars, when they're all standing in front of the cameras and the reporters, they're all going to try to make it sound like all is fine, and there might have been a few small hiccups along the way, but everyone is ecstatic about Bond 25, and they're looking forward to making the best Bond movie for fans. Meanwhile, in the back room, everyone will probably be chugging bottles of Tums. This run of the Bond series has turned into a real mess. It just seems like problem after problem with every other film. It doesn't seem like anyone knows what is going on, and each bit of news that comes out adds to even more confusion and indicates a franchise that is just directionless. I mean, I thought it was stupid when they tried to have Spectre be this linchpin to make a half-ass all-encompassing Bond story throughout 4 movies. And I was curious if they were going to try to continue that sequel format with Bond 25, but now I just want to see if they can get anything filmed. I wonder if Eon even knows what they want for the next Bond movie. We know Barbara is gaga over Craig and keeps saying she wants him back in the role and stay as long as she can convince him to. But what is it she wants him to do? What Bond stories does she want him to star in? It just doesn't seem like they have any clear plan from movie to movie. They've gone for more auteur directors, and okay, sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But I figure if you're going to bet on that avenue, then you have to trust them to do their stuff. It's a risk, but the payoff can be big, like it was with Skyfall. Or it could crash and burn like Quantum. Then, if they're gonna give Craig more control, now he carries a co-producer credit. You have to make him happy too. He's not just the star with a contract, like Cubby had to deal with. You know, Connery and Moore, they just had to show up and didn't have anywhere near the clout on the actual production that Craig now had. So now you have to hear his input and demands. You gotta make him happy. He's got some weight in the decision making. It's another person that has to be pleased. You know, Sean and Roger, they probably just looked at the call sheet and said, okay, yeah, I'll be there at 6, okay. Let's look at some of the things that have gone down with Bond 25. After Spectre, we got that whether Craig would return as 007 speculation that dragged out endlessly. Purvis and Wade said at one point that they would have no idea of how to write a James Bond movie in the 21st century, with all the things going on in the world. Anyone remember that? I still don't understand what they meant by that. A little while later, hey, Barbara said that Purvis and Wade are busy working on the next Bond script. Huh? What? What are you talking about? I guess a big check suddenly made them think up an idea of how to write a Bond movie for the 21st century. Cue Danny Boyle and John Hodge, who have a killer idea for Bond 25 that just wowed Eon. We'll take it. Show Purvis and Wade the door, and take a seat, Danny and John. Welcome to Bond 25. Hey, wait a minute. Where are you going, Danny? What do you mean you decide not to do Bond 25? Hodge, being a loyal co-worker with him, also jumps from the Bond 25 ship. Can we get a writer-director here? Preferably in a hurry? It's hard to wrap my head around this. It's been, it's like 3 years since Spectre came out. Yeah, that was 2015. I would think that would give them enough time to plan and start putting something together for filming in the tail end of 2018 for the next movie. 3 months before that's set to happen, the director and screenwriter walk? Unreal. They must be scrambling around the office. I mean, they must be dialing numbers. I mean, this is a work through lunch kind of situation for Eon. At this point, I think they'd probably be better off pushing the whole thing back. I mean, if they're going to gamble on Craig trying to work on the script between shooting scenes again, just to make a release date, then odds are it's not going to be good, and just forget it and put the brakes on this thing. So, what happens next? Who knows? I'm not even going to bother speculating. Honestly, I don't think Eon or anyone involved in the production knows either. We get the countless rumors and articles flooding all over the place. Theories about director choices, everyone is chiming in with their own suggestions. The only facts we do know for sure, right now, is Bond 25 is still scheduled to be released in November 2019, which I would not be at all surprised if it's announced that is going to change, and they're going to push the whole thing back. Oh, and the next Bond movie is being referred to as Bond 25. We know that for sure. If the movie does ever get released, I'll bet they won't call it that, though. They'll come up with a different title for it. But even then, I wouldn't bet money on that, so that's speculation on my part. So yeah, that's all. We don't know anything. I would normally suspect that it could become shaky if Craig was even gonna come back. I mean, I could see him wanting to pull a Dalton at some point if this keeps getting dragged out. You know, he gets tired of waiting and says, I think it's best we depart, guys. Best of luck to you. But I think he's locked in with Eon pretty tightly now. He's not just the actor, he's part of the team now, so he's probably in this for the long haul with Bond 25, no matter what happens or how long it takes. Everything else is up in the air. But I'm not going to be completely confident that he's going to be back as 007 and they're going to film something with him until I see that Bond 25 press conference, when everyone is all smiles and reassuring us through gritted teeth everything is sorted out and they're ready to get to work on the newest Bond movie. No idea when that's going to happen. So, let's see what happens.
Everyone will assume incorrectly that it was an American bomb triggered accidentally.
That would be the most plausible explanation.